So today we're going to check for abdominal separation, and I'm going to help you activate your pelvic floor and your transverse abdominals and be able to separate from each other. Okay? Separate activating transverse abdominals from using your obliques and be able to activate the pelvic floor on its own. Okay? So, do you know much about abdominal separation? A little bit. So basically we have four layers of abdominal muscles. We've got our rectus abdominis, we've got our external obliques, internal obliques, our transverse abdominis that runs from the back to the front, and when you have a baby, as it grows and grows and grows in your stomach, these muscles get stretched, more and more stretched, and that's when separation can occur. And this is down the connective tissue, which is called the linea alba. Okay, so it's important to stay on top of that. So we're going to do some checks for that now, and then after we've gone through how to activate the pelvic floor. Oh dear. There we go. It's alright, still going. So once we've learned how to activate the pelvic floor, we're going to recheck and see if there's any change through that separation. Okay. So I'm going to get you just to lie down on your back. That's it. Are you comfortable with me touching you?
Yes, totally.
Beautiful. So to check for your abdominal separation, I'm just going to get you to curl up, just slight head curl, no bracing, so just relaxing, just curling up. And we're just going to check in 3 spots, so top, and middle, bottom, just to see if there's any separation there. Did you have much separation after you had kids? No? You're too lucky. Yeah, cool. Alright, and gently relax. Beautiful, so there's not much going there, so I can feel that pretty well. Alright, so your pelvic floor is an internal muscle, and when we activate it, we're only activating about 5% of a contraction. So if you think about when you tense to do a big lift, you're putting 100% in, we're only doing a 5%er, okay? And unlike when you're doing a lift, we're not bearing down, we're not pressing out. It's actually more of a sucking in type of motion. So think about like you're trying to hold in a wee, or you're trying to hold in a tampon. There's a few different ways of thinking, or like a jellyfish. So it's those muscles internally in here. So like when you're trying to hold in a wee, or some people have used the, thinking about a jellyfish, how they the tentacles come together, so drawing in and up like this. So ideally, we want to keep the rest of the muscles relaxed and just activate here. So how we're going to test that is by putting our hands on our obliques to make sure that they're not switching on. So I'm going to hold on one side. I'm going to get you to put your hands on the other. So we're going to have, for you, you're just going to have thumbs on your obliques and hands on your hips here. I'm going to take here. And then I'll take a deep breath in and then exhale all the way out. And as you exhale, contract pelvic floor. Okay, so you have a little bit of oblique contraction there. Relax, and try and relax all the way with your pelvic floor. So the relaxation is just as important as the contraction. Okay, so deep breath in, and deep breath out, and contract pelvic floor. 5% only, that's much better. Good, and relax it all the way. Everything relax. Good, let's do one more. Deep breath in, and out. Good. Contract pelvic floor. Nice. Lovely. And relax. Okay, cool. So that was a big difference from the first one where there was a tensing through the obliques. Yeah. And remember, it is only a 5% contraction. So often if you fully contract, you'll find it's harder to separate the two. The two. So yeah, just a tiny bit. All right, so now we're going to activate our transverse abdominals. So remember, these are the ones that run from the back to the front. And we want to do this without bracing through our obliques as well. So same thing. Now, when we brace, as I said before, we're often pressing forward, yeah, or bearing down sort of feeling. With our transverse abdominal activation, it's another pulling up and away. So this one, the cue is to pull the skin back from your undiline, or thinking about undiline to tailbone even, okay? So thinking up and away rather than pressing out. We don't want to suck in, it's very gentle. So this gently, so just without anything else, just see if you can get that feeling.
Yep.
And now we're going to add everything else in. So I'm going to place one hand here. You can place one hand on the other side so you can feel it as well. Okay. And we're going to do our pelvic floor activation as well. So deep breath in and out. Okay, so gently suck your undiline away and relax. A little bit of activation there. We're going to try again. And exhale and gently drawing undiline. Skin away from underline. That's a little bit here, relax, relax. Let's try again. Just relax. And exhale and gently skin away. That's better. Yeah, good.
Have to concentrate.
Yeah, and look, this is only 5% as well. Yeah, so it's not like you have to really pull everything in. It's not like sucking in, you know, when you're trying to fit some pants on. It's it's just getting the muscles activated. Yeah. So very, very different. Try one more time.
Okie dokie.
So this time we'll try together. So we're gonna breathe in, breathe out, draw in pelvic floor, and transverse abdominal. There you go. Good. And relax. Relax the pelvic floor completely. So remember that relaxation is just as important, because often if we contract and then hold it there, it can cause other issues. So in terms of having an overactive pelvic floor, that ones that just contract and then never release too much, that can cause extra issues as well. So we need to make sure that we can get that full, or that 5% contraction, but then that full relaxation as well.
Okay.
Okay, so one more. Now, we're going to do that same thing with our head curl, and I'm going to check for your abdominal separation one more time.
Okay.
So, deep breath in, so we'll cue pelvic floor and transverse abdominals as well, and breathe out. Good. Pelvic floor, TA, curling up. Actually, that's made a difference here. I did feel a little bit at the top in the first part. Good. Nice, relax. Good, should probably do them separately actually. So we'll do it again. So I definitely got the top one. We'll do it again and I'll check the center. And exhale. Pelvic floor. TA, curling up. Yep. Good, and relax. One more. And exhale. When you're ready, pelvic floor. TA, and curling up. And release, and make sure fully relaxed pelvic floor as well. Awesome. Have you heard of a women's health physio?
Yes.
Have you ever seen one?
No.
No. And your 5 kids, my goodness. No. They are hugely beneficial for postnatal women and prenatal as well. It's an assessment that you can't get just with physical touch. So they have technology that is going to be able to assess you far greater than I would be able to do, and it is hugely beneficial even if you're not getting symptoms of any issues that could be caused by pelvic floor. It's something that could happen later on, and it's always good to see where your pelvic floor is at.
Has the weakness.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I would strongly suggest for you to go and see one. It doesn't matter how far postnatal you are, it is always very, very beneficial, and you may find that it can help with certain areas in your training
especially
as well.
getting older.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Edward.
No problem.